welcome to my channel, Divine Feminine Living UK. Please like, share, subscribe, comment if you want, you don't believe or whatever. So today is the Saturn, Jupiter in Aquarius, 0.1 degrees. We can't see it here today. I would have loved to have shown it to you, but you can go on different sites to have a look at it. So what I was going to talk about today is fundamentally, why is everybody feeling a shift? Well, Boris is probably going to shut the borders. Hey, how you doing? It's only a quick one. So Boris is probably going to shut the borders, and at the moment what we do know is there's an agenda that we're not actually participating. Hi Nora, I love you. Hi baby. So there's an agenda that they're not telling us. We need to be a lot more aware. So now we need to be looking at absolutely everything. Now that means, are we looking at ourselves in terms of how we feel? What are we feeding ourselves? Are we feeding ourselves this depression mode that they want us to live in, which is they don't want you to have a good Christmas, and you can have a good Christmas if you want, so have one. Transall cousin, I love you. So yeah, we're all going through these issues where it's challenging times for us in terms of our own mind, and we need to keep that mental clarity because that's all we've actually got. So what I wanted to talk to you about was the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction, and why it's so big for people is because they're going to be, hey Natalie, I'm strong, let's kick some head. So yeah, this is what I mean. So right now we've got the sun with Mercury, and it's in Capricorn, so we've got a lot of energy at the moment. It's a lot to do with structure, how they're trying to manipulate us into thinking certain ways, and how we've got to live our lives and be structured and stuff. And thank you everyone for joining me today. But we need to actually acknowledge the fact that we're participating in this. So either you're going to be strong, you're going to stand up and say, look, I'm not having this nonsense. As you can see, I'm not wearing the mask because I'm outside. Soon they will be pushing for that everywhere you go you will have to wear one, and anywhere that you are going to be going you need to have an identification card, which would be for the vaccination of COVID-19, which is Certificate of Vaccination Identification 2019. Now they're saying there's a new variant, which means there'll be another set of vaccines. Now they've already said there's only one dose at the moment for those who are having this vaccine, but what you need to remember is they don't want you to be untraceable. So when I started my channel earlier on this year, there was a couple of videos and I actually censored one. They took it off, so I'm like, no, what have you done? And it's because I mentioned something about Mike Krug. So Mike used to be the head of Sainsbury's, and he was one of the first fundamental people that wanted to know about data and getting our elderly people who don't use the mobile phone, their house phone back in the day. These are the people that would physically walk into a bank, sit down with the bank manager and say, can you give me a loan? And the bank manager would look at their wages and say, yes, this is what we can give for you. And they would sometimes be able to move mountains as well, those bank managers of a long time. But nowadays, 60% or even more than that, I think it's about 65 to 68% of people use online banking, which is internet banking. So it's either telephone banking where you dial up the phone, or you go on the internet. So most of the people of our age groups, that's my age group's going to be 47 plus. Anyway, we tend to like the cash element, and this is where the government's going. We're going now to the contactless now. They don't want you to have any contact with other people, and they definitely don't want you to have any meaning in that, because if you're smiling, that soon will become a bit of an issue, because what are you smiling for? I'm going through a bad time. And this is what's going on with everybody. We're having a lot of unjoyous moments, and we can actually change that. We have the option, and this is why the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction is such a big deal for me, because I can look at it and say, I'm going to be depressed, I'm going to go through a lot of problems. Some people have broken up this week, some people have lost someone, and my heart goes out to you because I've lost a family member today myself. It's not easy, but don't get floored by it, because it's fear. So false evidence appearing real, what it means for us is we're all going to die anyway, but it's the way we want to die, and sometimes we can't control that. So what we need to do is take a better look at living as opposed to death. So what I wanted to talk to you today about was your money. Yet again, how are you looking after yourself and your money? So right about now, everybody's going out buying stuff, the last minute presents and everything else, and what you're going to find out is after the new year they're going to be cheaper. So what you should be doing in this time is the next time when we are having ourselves, hi Alicia, where's my baby? Is she sleeping? Say hi to Robbie for me. Auntie Kayla loves you. Anyway, so we need to be looking after our money. And in terms of that, what we can be doing is using those sales to buy those cheapy bits. So maybe a £5 a week, if you can afford it. Say, for instance, you've given up drinking for over the Christmas period and a New Year. Perhaps if you're into those rituals and routines, you might do that. So you might say £5 a week. So say, for instance, you're drinking 2 cans of K, like myself, per day. I could cut it down to 1 can, and that's £1.20 a week. That would be £8.40 a week. That's 7 days a week. So over a year, obviously I'm going to be saving lots of money if I do that. But it's what we do with that cash. Do I save it? So if we're talking in terms of investment now, we could take that and put it into a high interest rate account. This high rate interest account, you wouldn't be able to actually withdraw. We'd call it an ISA. But it's looking at our rates of return of interest. And that's not in terms of just our money. It's how we're looking after ourselves. So what I did is last night I sat down and I wrote a 3-week plan for what I'd like to eat. Now there's a reason why I'm doing this, is because I'm talking about budgets. And when I've been talking about budgets, I've been talking about how we can save money and saving every little penny that we can get, that we can keep. So I'll show you. This is my plan for my 3-week, and you can see there's all kinds of mistakes on it. But it's like, I've written down a draft for what I'm doing in week 1, week 2, week 3. So then what I did is then I broke it down after that. So my first day was bolognese, pasta bolognese with vegetables and garlic bread, because I've got kids to feed. So then I wrote down what I needed: olive oil, pasta, minced beef, jar of mayo, packets of garlic bread. That gave me my shopping list, and this is what I was talking about. Fundamentally speaking, you make this list and you stick to it. So I've done it for the whole week. So now I need to think, how much am I going to budget in that week? Am I going to spend more than 75 quid? Am I going to spend £100? So it's about calculations and making sure whatever you've got coming in, you can account for when it's going out. And then what you need to do after that is keep your receipts, because over the year, you'll be able to actually work out what you're earning, what you're spending, and then what you can actually save. Because you're not going to buy a packet of oregano every week and see making pizza every day. You're not going to buy salt and pepper every week. But if you start cooking for yourself, you can start looking after your health. So what I wanted to also say is, be wary, our shadow government are also utilising our lovely Saturn and Jupiter conjunction today. They're billionaires, they don't work, they tell us what to do. So, got people everywhere around me, so we need to be looking at the fact that we've got a lot of stuff going on, and Boris is going to come on and he's going to shock us, and that's what they're doing. They're going to replace an app with what you can order online, and our greatest measure is going to be Amazon Prime, who's going to be making lots of money on the internet. So if we're looking in terms of investment, we can be looking at stocks and shares. So we also need to be looking at our education and how we're going to be investing in ourselves. You don't have to be joining in this stuff with the vaccine. It's up to you. It's a total idealistic point of view if you feel that the vaccination is the solution to the problem. The thing is, it might not be. And that's the other thing that we need to remember, is that COVID-19 is also then COVID-2021 with lots of different vaccinations and no solutions. So we need to be thinking in terms of what we want personally for ourselves. So know thyself, keep your mental health and keep it up, because to be honest with you, I'm not going to be giving it up. Tonight's going to be a really great night. Happy conjunction to everybody who's watching. And if you like, share, subscribe. You can go on my Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I was going to say Twitter. That's pretty much like me. Hey, how you doing? I'm fine, sister. So yeah, have a great evening, everyone. This is the change. It's the new era. Now, this is the new earth for everybody who wants to participate and get out of this matrix. We can live it up, because we're not going to give it up. I hope you have a blessed evening, and don't let government get you down. That's exactly what they want. God bless you all.